Doing Time with Deputy Mike.
Hi, welcome back to Doing Time with Deputy Mike. I am Mike, and we're going to jump right into the roll call. Grab your feet and take a seat. It's roll call time. Okay, we'll start right to my right.
Hi, I'm Sapphire. I've been on the podcast before, but I'm back. Hello.
Yep.
Kara Kerber from the front office.
Zach.
Zach is my son. Real fast. Well, we all know about myself and Sapphire and Kara. Kara, if you want to give a update, like she's down in the office, give us a real fast who we are.
Oh, I used to go here
There you go.
for construction technology.
So he's an alumni. All right, let's move on. Let's go right into the booking.
The booking.
So this is our Halloween special, our spooky Halloween, which, yeah, woo, we need some werewolves and stuff. Over the weekend, a bunch of us went ghost hunting at Hillview Manor over in Newcastle, PA. Awesome place. There's so much to talk about that place. I should have did this the first time. Let's talk about the staff was awesome. Our tour guides were awesome. I got to meet the owner, very nice lady. Some of the stuff they were telling us with the rules were crazy because of past professional ghost hunters. It's like, did they really let fireworks off in this place? Yeah. Rule one.
Yeah.
They let off fireworks?
Yeah, they had to make a rule because they legitimately had people set off fireworks inside a building.
That's a fire hazard.
Oh, you guys don't do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll start with Kara because Kara. Let's do some. Kara had been there, worked there, and basically she used to give tours. So the rest of us went on a tour, and Kara, go ahead and explain. You can.
I did not go on tour.
Yes.
I've done that tour before, so and I heard that it was a pretty long tour.
That was my fault. Yes.
So while you guys were on your tour, my son and I went down to that boiler room that they just opened. So that's where we were, and we also, talked with the owner, Carrie, in the office for a little while.
Which is, yeah, you know what? Since we brought that up. So, all right, so this is cool. So while we were on our 5-hour tour, go ahead and tell them what they would like us to do.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Carrie is really interested in what the kids here do in the multimedia program, and she was interested in maybe having them do some sort of a commercial or spotlight of their haunted house, Scare Manor.
Which is
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And to break this down before we go any further, Hillview Manor was originally a work farm,
Mhm.
and then it was a nursing home and
Critical care.
critical
I think
care,
they had
yeah.
critical care
Patients.
down that one section, yeah.
So, yeah. A lot of people have called it a lot of other things. It is not.
What,
So-
have they, called it, an asylum or something?
Yes, and it is not an
Oh, I
asylum. Never has
see.
been an asylum. They don't want to be associated as an asylum. Because that's not what they were. That's
Right.
not what they were.
Yeah, I get that.
And they had when did it close? 20, or no, not 20. What year did they shut their doors?
Was it 2004?
2000, yeah,
I think.
2004.
So that was.
Yeah, so yeah, they had residents in there not too long ago, really.
Yeah.
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 And the building, even though it's got some wear and tear on it, it's still a beautiful building.
Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing building. It's huge. It's a huge building.
Yeah.
Even though that, we'll get to that later. But the boiler room, when we had started after our tour, it was a lot of noise, because we had a lot of people. We
Yeah.
had 17 people, I believe.
Yeah, and that's good. A lot of people
Yeah.
got to see the place.
Yeah, so I had broken off from everybody because it was like just, you're trying to record or whatnot, and you don't want contamination with other noise, so you can't say that's paranormal if you're hearing everybody else talking or, and not that nobody was loud, it's just a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd gone down to the boiler room, and I was saying that it was extremely dark in that boiler room, and I didn't feel comfortable in there. My light was like, I had some bright lights, and it seemed like the darkness, the only way to explain it was the darkness was enveloping the light. My light wasn't penetrating the darkness. And then I started to go down to the bottom level, and I just wasn't feeling that. So I moved on. But the tour, we had lots of stuff on
Oh,
the
yes.
tour. So go ahead, and you had experience on the tour.
Yes, so the first experience I had, I walked into an empty room by myself to kind of look out the window to see where I was in the building. And as soon as I walked out, something made a big knock right behind me. And I was the only one in that room.
Yes.
And I wasn't the only one that heard it. Like, people walking down the hall also turned around and was like, what was that? It's like, beats me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
No, was that on the third or second?
Second.
That was on the second, because when we was on the, did we stop at the second first, and then we worked our way up, didn't we?
I thought we started on
No,
the third and
yeah,
worked our way down.
Yes, because we start at the, what is that, not, was it the Morgan?
The surgical room?
Yeah, the
Upstairs?
upstairs, surgical room, I'm sorry, surgical room. And, it's Jay, right? Jay was our,
Yeah, Jay and Donnie. I
Donnie.
think. Yep.
So Jay, I like Jay because he had a southern accent. I like southern accents. But,
Nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy. I like them both.
Please excuse this interruption. All Southington students can be dismissed
He was telling
at
us
this
about the
time.
surgical room,
All
and
Southington
it seems
students
like
can be dismissed at
whatever
this
is
time.
around that area doesn't like people in that. They don't like to be encroached on, so they make you feel uncomfortable and push you back. So as soon as he said that, of course, yours truly jumps right up into the crowd. It's like, let me check this out, and off I go. And sure enough, the closer I got towards that room, the more uncomfortable I was feeling. I did walk in there, and I started feeling nauseated. It was weird. I've never felt that. Even when I was sick, I can't even explain. It's not the same. It's not the same feeling. But, and then I felt like something was icing down on my head, like a headache. And I looked down, my arms, my hair, he's like, yeah, you got to, and his was too. I mean, our hair on our arms were straight up, and, goosebumps up the arm. But he's like, yeah, we back out of here, you'll start feeling better. And of course, when we moved back down the hall, I was like nothing ever happened. But literally at one point, I felt like I was going to vomit. I mean, it was making me sick. But I felt that like a few times on the tour in different areas. Like the creeper hallway hit me. And it was funny because he's not here, but Eric Rushak, who's a deputy with me, we were like side by side, we were talking, and he was getting some of the It's like, man, I keep feeling these weird, like, sensations and these weird headaches. And he goes, they're coming, they're going, and nauseated. And it's like, yeah, me too. But then they're gone. They come, they hit, and they're gone. It's like, it was weird. But
I have to ask, did you get any photos, like, with shadows in them, or, like, little apparitions?
yes, we do. We do. And we'll talk about. You know what? Let's start with. Let's start. Eric actually. There's 4 photos we have of a hallway with what appears to be an apparition. If we can bring that up, through in the back. There we go. Sorry. So, for everybody on the podcast, what we're looking at right now is Eric. We're on the 2nd floor of the building, and what they call it, the creeper. Is that what they call the hallway, Kira?
Or Jeffrey's hallway.
Jeffrey's hallway.
There's a lot of, I guess, people. I mean,
It's a-
names that are associated up there.
Creeper, Jeffrey, Mary. It's a busy hallway for
It is very
nobody
busy.
being there.
Yeah,
It's a very
pretty busy
hallway.
hallway.
But what we're looking at is all the way at the end of this hallway is what appears to be a mist figure, and really, if you blow it up, it kind of looks like a female with like a night robe or
You know, that's what I saw.
dress. I mean, if you really enhance it, you can actually see a kind of face.
Oh yeah, it's got facial features.
Yeah, it
on
does
there.
have facial features. And then if we can go ahead and advance to the next picture, you'll see like all the way down the hall, and it's still down there.
Wow, that's actually freaky.
Oh yeah, we're down there. We're down by, I think, actually we're standing almost by Mary's room. Isn't Mary in the front? Is that Mary also?
Well, you're right up coming off of the stairs, right?
I think we're down just a little bit.
And a little bit further,
Yeah, 'cause-
but you haven't turned right to go down the hallway yet.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, the first one would be Mary's room, but she's down there a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then almost across from there is Jeffrey.
Wait. No, we're not in her hallway. We're in the actual.
Right, but if you turn down,
Yeah,
then
then
you'll
we're-
go
yes,
Mary and then
yes,
Jeffrey and then
yeah.
Creeper's room
Yeah,
all the way at
all
the
way
end.
at the end.
Yeah.
So in the next one he took, if we could advance that. It's gone. See, that gives you, actually you could see like, there's the other hall. This tells you how far down we really are. See where the, I guess, is that the stairs to the left? You know,
Like that, yeah, I think
I think
so.
that's the other hallway that crosses.
Yeah, I don't.
Are you able to see that?
Oh, the stairs are this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but during the, I don't know if he took that during, I know he snapped some pictures. We were in the tour, and actually, looking down there, you could see something moving. And, this is a flare. Zach, this would be you, if you could tell us where you're at.
I have no idea.
It almost looks like,
Presumably.
third floor.
Presumably would be the second. I spent a lot of time on the second
you're
trying
on
to
the
see the
second?
creeper, to be
All right.
honest.
Are those ghost orbs? Like, because I keep seeing orbs in the photos, so they look like, or no,
The-
those are heat temperatures.
those are
Yeah,
heat
they're
temperatures.
most
heat
likely the
temperatures.
exit signs.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
a couple exit signs, and then there were some other things off to the signs or something. I think that's what we're looking at. If you could go ahead and advance to the next one, picture. Now this one, actually, That's our,
Yes, I do know about this picture. I can't really see from where
that's
I'm
the
sitting,
face.
but it is.
Yes.
No, that's the blue
Oh, wait, no,
shadow.
that's the blue
Yeah.
shadow in the, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
So I had a thermal imaging camera, and I took a series of photos, and in the first one, there was nothing there. And then I took another one, and then that blue shape that you have on screen was
Standing in the doorway.
correct. And then I took another photo, and it was still there. A couple more photos passed, and it was gone.
God. If we could go ahead and, yeah, there it is. It's kind of like starting to fade out. You know, yeah. So we're still looking at the flare pictures of a cold spot in the middle of the door, which is in the shape of a person, like standing in a doorway.
Yes. Oh, there's the
Oh.
face.
Oh, yay.
Oh yeah, you guys can. I'm sorry.
Nice.
If I knew that, I would have been looking up there the entire time.
So if we could go ahead and advance again. And one more time, it's still that's pretty much still the same.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and advance again.
Oh,
Up, that's the front. All right. So what we're looking at now is that is the entrance to Hillview Manor. And that is not a ghost up in the window. That's a prop because of the haunted house. That's Mary's room. That's at her apartment. Was it at a Mary also?
Up in that apartment
Yes,
up there?
yeah.
Oh, that I don't know. You know, since the new management team has taken over from when I worked there, they've found out so much more information, which
Right.
is awesome because the history of the building is just as
Yeah.
important as, you
Yes.
know, the ghost hunting. So, yeah, they've found out all
I-
sorts of
I
stuff.
believe her. Yeah, that's what I was saying because we were actually outside of her room
Hmm.
when we took that initial down the hall photo. Where we're
Oh, so you were standing right in front of the, like, apartment area.
shooting down. Yeah.
Gotcha. So right across from there is the old men's cafeteria, that real dark room.
Okay.
Do you guys remember that
Yes.
by the salon?
Yes.
The beauty salon
Because you
or
could
what
see
have
where
you.
the old serving line was.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I know. Okay.
Except we were facing down towards Jeffries.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we're right now what we're looking at the front of Hillview Manor, and it's cool looking. And it's funny because I think it was Mr. Duran when I first saw the picture. He's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "That's just a dummy." Go ahead and we can move to the next picture.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, this is the video. Are we gonna have, I don't know if we're gonna have sound on this video. That's what I heard. There's nobody out here, right?
Is this when you and your wife are in?
Mary's
Mary.
room, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you can't turn on the flashlight?
What happens in this video,
Oh, thank
here's
you.
the light
You
that you
did
turned
turn
on.
the flashlight. Thank you.
Mary, well, you
Turn it
knew
back
about
off?
Mary when you were there, correct?
Yes.
Go-
She
yeah.
was
But
one
say
that
you
I
was
knew.
If it was, could you
Older
turn the flashlight
gal,
back on?
no eyes.
No eyes.
She did have glass eyes, but she found them uncomfortable, so she didn't often have those in. And
Do you think I'll
her
pull it?
room that we're looking at right now was directly across from a bathroom. And Mary had the number of steps counted out to where she could leave her room, go into the restroom. She washed her hands a lot. And in that hallway, you can
I do thank you for
hear
turning on the flashlight.
footsteps and noises in between
I
Mary's
did get a
room
giggle
and the
that you were
bathroom
talking
because
about
she's still washing her hands, going in there and washing her hands a lot.
Tell you what, though.
So,
Apparently they were saying that Mary also has a
Not spirit-wise.
sense of humor,
yes.
a dirty sense of humor at
Yes.
times. And so the gist with this video,
Yeah, it was-
actually, when I walked in, I said, Mary, are you here? Well, let me, there's the light. She just turned it back on.
That was a big
I was
yes.
actually in Mary's room twice. I
Oh,
went
my
up
gosh.
the first time. I don't
Thank
know
you.
if I really caught
Turn
anything.
it back off.
My camera battery, actually, I sat down in the chair by the door, and my battery went from full to empty, like 0 to 2.7, zip, gone. And like literally something sucked the battery dry.
Thank you.
Which was crazy. When we went back up, that was toward the end of the night, actually, at the end of the night. I got in and it's like, Mary, are you here? And you actually can't hear a response. And when you clean it up in all, it says yes. And then Tina and I believe Tyler, my youngest son, were in there. We were talking, and she says, well, I'll say poop. But it wasn't poop, which got me really rolling on that, you know. So there was a lot of poop words going back and forth and everything, and I was jousting with her and talking about poop, and I think it was Tina actually said maybe she thinks you smell like poop. And the light, as you saw, came on. It's like, oh, thank you. It was weird because like a couple other times, that's like a 20-some minute clip, so we can't show, of course, the whole clip. We had a couple more of the on and off where she responded with the flashlight. And then we were talking, like everything just stopped. And we were talking how it's just, everybody in the room could feel it. Like the whole building just turned off. And we were just talking, and I said, well, I don't know, I think I would be kind of mad if people were always coming in my room and I didn't know them. And pretty much once I said that, the light came back on. Like, whoop, yep, you're right. We made her mad because she don't know us. We're treating on her spot. So we said, like, you know, if you could turn that light off, we'll leave you alone. And then Tina asked her again to turn it off, and she turned it off. We thanked her, and out the door we went. We left her alone. But, you know, you want to tell us, you and I were together a few times, anything like that night you would like to really talk about?
When my son and I came up to the third floor to see you, and you had your, you had your camera and you had
The
your...
laser, yeah.
The laser, yeah. And you lost battery in both.
Yes, yeah, it's like, again, we were on the third floor, new battery, by the way, it was a fresh, brand new battery, and it went zip, gone, and sucked it down, and we had the laser grid up.
Yeah.
And we were asking.
Didn't it
questions.
roll too?
It
At-
did, yes, it did.
That's what I thought.
And then it went dead.
When we put the ball, the golf
On
ball,
the floor.
on the floor, and then we were asking for that ball to roll,
roll.
and then your laser grid flipped,
Yeah.
and
Yep, it
uh,
rolled.
yeah. And that was pretty noisy up there too. To our right, we had that surgical room that you didn't feel so good in. Behind us, we had the guy that maybe jumped, maybe
jumped.
didn't jump.
According to our spirit friends, it was more like a push,
Maybe a push.
maybe a push.
And then to our left was Jimmy's room, and there was just noise
All over the place.
happening all over the place. So that was a pretty good time.
Because we had it pointed to the end
Yeah,
towards,
those two rooms that
Yes.
are real dark down there.
yeah, that's the room I got sick
Those are
in.
creepy.
that room.
Oh, that's the room you
That's
got
the
sick
room,
in,
yeah.
not the surgical room.
No.
Oh, okay.
That other room to the left. Yes.
Oh, those are creepy rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But, yeah, I mean, we were asking a lot of questions, and they like those lights.
Yeah. I don't think there's a place in that building that you can't get some sort of reaction out of the flashlights. That's why it's probably my favorite, the flashlight. I mean,
Yeah.
the cameras and stuff are really cool, but I'm lazy. I don't want to carry those around all night. So.
But they did. I mean, well, what all did you find? Like, what was your biggest experience?
I watched a odd-shaped flash, like it wasn't round, like the
It was
head.
square.
It was square, and it was sitting on the chair, not like so it could roll. And again, it's square. It shouldn't roll anyway, and it just started rolling, square and all.
Where were you when that happened?
144, first floor.
Okay.
That's the new wing.
That. Oh, by the nurses.
Like Billy Boots, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the hall and down
Yeah.
a little more.
So they were further where I told you I felt uneasy
Yeah.
later on. See, and that's, I was hanging out with Billy,
Huh.
well, when we were on our tour, when we went to Billy's, his name is Billy Boots. I love that name because it makes me think of a pirate. Billy, I'm talking about you. Every time, I just love that. Boots. It makes me think of a pirate. Billy Boots. So I had to, I don't know if he answered me because I ended up with no sound. I had all kinds of malfunction, technical foul. But I was down there for a while, but that's the floor where I thought I heard our group above me walking and talking, and I could hear muffled talk, and I said into my thing for, later on when we were going to go through our evidence to mark it that it's not paranormal, it's somebody talking from our group. Only problem is I found out later on that there is no second floor above me. So who
Oh,
I
no.
heard up there shuffling around and talking, I don't know.
Okay, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I find it, I don't know what the word for it is. I find it kind of ironic that you guys were having technology problems because when I was at Madison Seminary, I had the same issues. I had my phone continuously turn off on me, wasn't doing anything, and this was when I was trying to record audio and stuff for it. My phone would just turn off in the middle of recording when I was getting good bits and details, and I wasn't getting any paranormal stuff. It was just my tour guide that was talking, and my phone would just shut off every 5 minutes it seemed, and it was frustrating. And then I went up to the top floor to Sally's room, and Sally's room is rumored to be, they don't know if Sally is human or if she's a demon of sorts, because there have been a lot of odd things that a normal ghost wouldn't do.
Yeah. Now this is not at Hillview Manor, so we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was strange. And Sally likes to have dolls in her room. She has a whole bunch of dolls and a big gigantic dollhouse in the middle of it.
That's where
Madison Seminary.
I do. I remember watching that on one of the ghost shows.
I watched that one on Destination Fear, and then my dad and my stepmom went there with me. I think my sister was there with me too, because I had expressed that I wanted to go there. And I didn't know Madison, Ohio was so close. Had I known that, I would have been begging my parents to take me sooner. But I was happy to go there, and it was I think it was October 12th or 19th that I went there. So, and I still have the photos on my phone and
That's
the
cool.
recordings from my phone too. Haven't reviewed them very much, but I think I took a picture and I got a shadow figure in one, and then something else in another one. I can't remember what it was though.
Speaking of pictures, do we have the face one pop up?
Yeah, it popped up. It was just a brief, like,
Oh, okay. The thermal, not to cut you off. You
No,
just
you're
made
fine.
me
You're fine.
think, well, you also had an experience in Jeffrey's room, correct?
oh, yes, yes. So we had the spirit box out, and we were trying to contact Jeffrey, and we heard a little kid come through, but it was non-distinguishable. But then we asked Jeffrey how old he was, but we had a full-grown man come through and say 10, which is weird because Jeffrey is supposed to be a child.
Yeah. And isn't he younger than 10?
Well, I don't know. The story that I had heard was he had a brother, an older brother. They were orphaned,
That's right.
and the older brother was adopted because he was of working age, and Jeffrey wasn't. I don't know if the volunteers or, the tour guides or what have you have made any changes to that story, if they found something more out or what have you, but Jeffrey was supposedly abandoned there. His brother was taken, adopted out, and then Jeffrey left.
That's kind of sad. I mean,
It
the
is.
way they used to do stuff like that. I mean, it's like, well, this kid can work, so we'll use him. But
Yeah,
Adios.
yeah.
Yeah. What's awesome is what I love is that they're constantly looking for new information, where they're digging up more information on all their residents and everything, and they're finding more and more stories, and that's pretty cool.
And it's important that it's the truth.
Yes.
That those are actual facts instead
Yeah.
of just, running around saying, oh, there's ghost here and there's ghost there
Right,
and there's ghost
right.
here. They're actually trying to find truth
Truth to it.
behind it and history, which
Right.
is
Which is
that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
the-
Yeah,
the
yeah.
history.
It really shows. I feel like by them trying to find out more, it's giving respect to the people that died, because a lot of things that I see in media is when they go ghost hunting, they don't respect the ghosts whatsoever.
Mhm.
And half the time that either gets no response from the ghosts there, or it gets them angry.
Mhm.
And I was told that when I was in Madison Seminary, like, don't do anything to anger any of them, because some of them are not nice. And I mean, I didn't bother them. I mean, I just said, hey, hello, hi, are you here, kind of stuff, and
Right.
I left when I was told to. So
Yeah, I don't see the purpose in being all
yeah,
gruff
'cause
about
I've-
some of that
Because
stuff.
I've seen some ghost hunters on TV and stuff, and I know TV in actual life is way different, but I've seen some of them, like, just be outright rude to them, and I'm just like, why? There's no need for that.
Because it's just all show.
Yeah, it's
It
TV.
is, it
Ratings.
is.
Yeah, ratings. I mean,
Yeah, no one's gonna watch if
Yeah.
If
Hey,
you don't get
Deputy
any-
Mike and us go ghost
Honey.
hunting.
Yeah, and I'm not being possessed like 120 times.
Yeah.
It's like,
Really.
We're looking at you, Mr. Baggins.
But yeah, any other big things with you in the building?
Once again on tour, we were in front of Jeffrey's room. It was Olivia, the girl with the boots, I don't know her name, she was with us, and myself, and we were standing in front of Jeffrey's room. And once again from behind us, we heard a breath, and like none of us said anything to each other, but we all looked, and then finally the lady in the boots was like, did you hear like a breath? And we're like, yeah,
It's crazy, especially
because we were standing
that's
in the back.
unnerving when you hear like someone breathe, like, and you're looking
Ooh,
around, and there's
shivers.
just nothing there.
And we were in the far back.
Yeah,
Like I said earlier, I was just walking in and out of rooms, like just kind of looking around.
yeah.
There was no one behind us.
There's so much to look at.
The bead lady, her room. Was her name Mary too?
Which one? Oh, with
with
all
the
the beads
beads,
on
yes.
the yeah. Yep.
One of the
She was Mary.
There's a
Mary
lot of
Virgin-
Marys.
Yeah.
Very- Let's just call everybody Mary.
Everyone's
Do you go in
Mary.
that room with Mary?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
I'm
there.
Mary, bead Mary, just Mary.
Yeah, that's Mary Virginia. I think she was very childlike, and I think her birthday is Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something like that.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Not
Yeah.
a bad day to have a birthday.
Yeah.
Easy to shop for. Here's a new bead.
Yeah, really. Let's throw it up on your bed.
But there's a lot of beads in her room hanging from the ceiling.
Really?
Yes, tons of them.
Was she like a seamstress or something when she was alive? Like they didn't give any details on that.
She liked jewelry.
Jewelry.
Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
see.
She was like real childlike, perhaps
Okay.
a developmental issue or something.
Yeah.
And she liked baby dolls and jewelry,
That's right,
music,
yeah.
singing, that sort of thing. But she did live to be elderly. So, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I would have liked. I want to go to Newcastle at some point because my parents keep talking about it, and like, there's some places they want to go to, and I was just like, okay, well, if we go to Newcastle, then we need to go to Hillview Manor because I've heard of Hillview Manor before.
Yeah,
And that's the
I don't
deal.
think they'd regret it. Do you guys?
No.
No.
No, because they really
no,
like Madison.
I'm ready to head back. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it was awesome. It was times unnerving, times. I mean, it didn't disappoint.
I'm so glad that it didn't. I got a little worried that maybe you guys
Oh
weren't.
no, not at all.
Well,
But-
you can't make. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I mean, Tyler and I went up to the cemetery last year, and nothing really happened. But
And that's where I got one of the best pictures
yeah,
ever
ever.
out of over 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. Tell them about your picture out of that cemetery.
Well, I was with a couple of my girlfriends, and one of my friends was getting a little creeped out, and she was ready to go. And so she took off back to the car, and the other girl and I stayed. And the one that was in the car kept wanting to go. She was scared. So we were backing out and just randomly taking pictures, just pointing, click, point, click, whatever. And we ended up with a photo of an entire family, a man
Oh, wow.
in like an army type hat, and then a woman with long dark hair holding a baby. That's the sad part. There is an itty bitty tiny baby in there too. So I talked to a Trumbull County historian. The cemetery is in Trumbull County, to see if we could match the age of that baby to anybody in that cemetery, because that cemetery's been vandalized, so not all the stones are there because people, well, you saw it. They went
Yeah.
in and it's bad.
It's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's old. I mean, it's got to be close to one of the oldest cemeteries we probably have in
Oh,
this area.
I would
mean,
think, yeah.
And it's the fact that it's linked to the only hanging in Trumbull County.
Yeah, it is.
So it's got history. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I think there was some all the way back to the colonial days.
Yeah, it's old.
It's old, and it's not big. It's smaller. Maybe, well, it may be as big as this room.
As this room, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's real
But-
tiny.
Anything else?
Yeah, back to Beaded Mary's room. We asked her which one was her favorite bead, and of course, like, in the room, there's tons of beads. Again, it's easy to knock into them.
Mm-hmm.
So we were, calling it out, like, oh, don't look at this one. I knocked into it, whatever. But there was a bead by, like, the back wall to the right of her bed that just started swaying by itself. No beads around it. No one was near it. We were mid-roomish, and it supposed so open. I can't speak. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Is it her favorite bead? Maybe. That's the one that was swinging after the question.
And here's the thing too. There was no draft in that building. It was actually, for being as cold it was Saturday, or Friday. I'm sorry, Friday. It was pretty comfortable in there.
Mhm.
Now, towards the end, it was getting cold in spots, or you kind of found a cold spot, or the
Mhm.
cold spot found you. But there was no drafts. There was no wind blowing through, so yeah, there's nothing there making that bead move.
And the owner has done quite a bit of repair lately, like the roof, that sort of thing. Some windows, sometimes they get damaged from that golf course that's right behind it. But that stuff gets repaired, so there's no.
Speaking
There's
of
no
the golf
draft.
course, so there's two gentlemen that we do need to talk about. It was the resident jokers,
Oh, Jimmy and Lester.
Jimmy and yeah. So please share that story with everybody.
The golf ball
The
one?
golf ball, yeah. Well, you got to talk.
Well, they called him Jimmy Snaps
Yeah,
because he would take a Polaroid camera around and ask people
for a dollar.
for
or
a dollar
cigarette.
or a cigarette, yeah, to take their picture. The people would give, and he had no film. He would just
Snap a picture, but
snap
he
a
had-
picture, but there's no film. Same Jimmy. There's a golf course behind Hillview Manor, and they would collect golf balls. Like somebody would hit a golf ball, they'd go pick it up, wash it off. And the guy would come looking for his golf ball, and he would say, I don't know where your ball is, but here I have this one for $1 or whatever. And
Cigarette.
he would try to
Cigarette or a dollar.
sell the guys their own golf
Golf
balls
balls
back.
back.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. They were the jokesters of the building, which was, and then they were telling us that what was it, Lester? What's his buddy's name?
Lester, yeah.
I guess I'm pretty sure they said his daughter came to visit. Like
I might not know this story.
oh, see, yes, he did miss some stuff.
I
on
should
the
have gone
tour.
on the marathon
the
tour.
marathon
Just the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes. But yes, I believe they said that his daughter did come. It was pretty touchy.
Well, that would be.
Yeah, that would, yeah. I'm pretty sure. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And,
Totally
I'm trying to
quoting
take
you.
in all the information that they had
It's
a lot
a
of
lot.
information.
It's a lot.
They have a lot of great information. You're trying to, you're there to ghost hunt. You're trying to suck it all in, and yeah, and then you got stuff moving. I mean, you got stuff going on during the tour, and it's like, oh, I just saw something. Oh, I just heard something. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, good. I'm glad a lot of things happened for you guys. That's
yeah.
good.
Well, you and I in the basement with George.
Yeah.
George is a Steelers fan. That's why I like him so much.
George, just for context, George is a ghost, right?
George
George
is a ghost.
is a
Okay,
ghost.
George is a
George, George was a worker.
George was
he
a
worked
worker.
there. He was an employee, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Uh,
Maybe in like maintenance or custodial.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much where we was where he usually worked, I thought.
Mhm. Yep.
He did not pass at the building, I don't think. He
I don't
passed-
believe so.
No, he passed wherever, but he came back. He's
Mhm.
there now. But we had a flashlight session down there. It was pretty awesome. And then we had your spirit box. And I asked who was there with us, and it clearly came across George, man's voice. Then I was nudged in my hip right here, and I asked if he nudged me, and light came on. That was a yes.
Mhm.
And then we had some other things that weren't audible. I mean, he
Yeah.
said some stuff, but don't know. I couldn't tell you what he said, but quite a bit of flashlight. I mean, he answered a lot of questions. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't need no fancy equipment to go ghost hunting here. Just bring a flashlight.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, the
Yeah.
fact that they could turn a flashlight on and off is
The fact that they can drain technology just like the snap of a finger, just
I have never
it-
seen a battery.
it's
from
kind
white-
of freaky.
Literally, this is what it did. It was like, here's your bars. Like your bars are all, and I sat there and watched my battery go zip, and it went to red. I mean, it went right to red. I'm like, one bar at a time. I went doop, 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 doop. Man, I'm like, battery's gone. Never in my life has that ever happened to me. And not once, twice,
Plus your grid.
plus the grid, plus the laser.
Thermal camera did the same.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. It was on the second floor while you were doing your flashlight session.
Oh, over in
And we-
Angelo's hallway.
Yeah, and we kind of just accidentally stumbled upon you guys. And we were like, oh, well, I guess we'll, like, watch you guys, see what's going on. And, like, you guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, thermal died right there. And then the lights
Just done.
turned on.
And that was fully charged, and that thing's made to last a long time. Because I played with it we played with it quite a bit. We had it outside,
Oh, yeah, watching the dog
watching
in the
the
dark.
dog and this, that, and learning how to use it.
Right.
And I mean, that thing had a lot of usage, and I charged it back up, and it was barely, for all that we ran around and did, and we was outside in the cold, with the dog, and I mean, we were snapping everything. It was, in fact, I think when I charged it, it was down like 1 bar, and we had played with it for quite a bit. like
Right.
a couple days.
Brand new.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's crazy that got sucked like dry. It's so that, yeah, we had a lot. I mean,
As soon as I left the area, it just turned back on again like nothing happened.
that's, yeah.
Did any of yours come back up?
No, my batteries.
Once they were drained, they were
dead.
drained?
Yeah, they were gone. I had them actually. When you left, I was charging the one battery back up.
That's right, because then when I grabbed the grid, I had to use the portable charger on it to keep it going.
Yes, because I had it plugged. I had my battery plugged into the wall, and I went down and was recharging the laser, because they're both chargeable things. Yeah, that's right. And then we had that Mophie battery. Yeah, it was pretty slick because it's a USB port that charges the laser. So he just clicked it into the Mophie, and so now he had a giant battery running the laser grid for the rest of the night. But yeah, that was cool. I mean,
It was a good night, I think.
yeah. The little baby doll thing though down that basement. I don't like baby dolls.
There was a baby doll.
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Even I thought that was creepy.
That's creepy. That little thing down there. Yeah, that's.
So there was just a singular baby doll down in the basement.
Down in the basement, there is like storage. So like people that have passed and everything, and nobody's collected their property. Their stuff is still downstairs, so you got stuff that people are probably attached to. One of them happens to be this little creepy baby doll thing that's like, I mean, I just didn't like that baby doll. And then, yeah, it's staring at you kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think.
And then there were a few of them all grouped together.
together.
I don't like when they're grouped together.
Well, they
like
said that little girl or whatever. And, you know, I get it, but I am very leery. When we start talking about kid spirits, I am very leery about
Very
these.
skeptical.
Very, very. All right, so we've been chatting for quite a bit. Let's brings us to my favorite time. Oh, embarrassing moments.
That's embarrassing.
Gotta be PG, school. So we'll go with you first, Zach.
I live my life in embarrassment.
That's not a story. Come on, you've done something embarrassing or funny.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Give us a good story. Got anything from McDonald's?
No.
No.
No, like I said, I'm just a very clumsy person, so it's a guarantee that I'm going to just do something goofy. Drop something, trip over something.
You sound a lot like me.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well-
do that a lot.
Especially when people are watching and you know they're watching, and it's like, all right, don't screw this one up.
And you do it
I
anyway.
did it.
Yeah.
Well, he does. He's all nice and his hair's all cut and everything, but it used to be extremely long. And he works at McDonald's, and they started calling him McJesus. That's his nickname at work.
Yeah, he does kind of look like a Jesus reincarnate.
So you got any new ones for us?
Embarrassing thing?
Yeah.
Look, I'm with Zach. I am hard to embarrass. I do so many goofy things. I don't even get embarrassed anymore.
But I bet you he could show like 100,000 of them of me.
No, not on the spot. That's one of those things where you just like it pops in your head
Yes.
randomly at night. You're like, oh man.
All right, so that's our embarrassing time. We're going to move on to shout outs.
It's shout out time.
Oh, here's your chance. You can shout out to everybody. Who you want to shout out to? You can,
Everybody.
You can shout out to your professor.
Shout out to Mr. Peachy.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Peachy's here. Okay, big shout outs.
Oh yeah, my girl Mrs. Phillips down in the front office. Heck yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to come ghost hunting with us.
We won't talk about
We
that
won't
part.
talk about
I
that.
still love her though.
Okay. Yeah, I did too. I do know what I do. I got a shout out. I would like to give a shout out to Hillview Manor for having us, allowing us to come in. It's a great time, and I would like to have you guys on my show. I'd like to revisit this back in November. That would be kind of cool.
You know, I wonder if you could. I think you mentioned it earlier, Donnie and Jay, your
Yeah.
tour guides. You know, they would have a lot more information
Oh,
than I ever did. I
that would
wonder
be
if they
cool.
That's a
would,
good one, yeah.
or maybe that's something that the kids could look into.
I would love to go
Interviewing.
film. I would love to go film and do like a little mini ghost hunting segment just for funsies. Like, I'm all into that. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I mean, so they might be able to arrange for Jay and Donnie to be there,
Yep.
or invite them here.
I mean,
or what
if it
have you.
adds to my work-based learning hours, and even if it doesn't, I'm fine with that. Like,
That's a
I love
win-win right
filming.
there,
Yeah,
Mr. Barry.
it's a-
Yeah.
Work-based learning hours, Mr. Barry.
You know what? I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, Tina, because she actually handled that ghost hunting. She doesn't like scary. Like, she'll watch it, but she doesn't like to do it. So, kudos to you, Tina, and to Tyler. Tyler's becoming a little ghost hunter there. You know, him and I now got 2 down. Did the cemetery last year. So, shout out to them and everybody that was with us.
We're going to have to start thinking about our place for next year's Halloween special.
Yeah, yeah. I want to do more ghost hunting.
Take me with you? Take me with you?
Which, I guess that brings us to out of service. So,
This is 22. I'll be
oh, that was fast. I didn't even get to say goodbye.